The crash landing. Commander Maya Chen should have known better than to ignore the quantum distortions. The research vessel Stellar Dream shuddered violently as another wave of crystalline energy rippled through its hull. Warning lights flooded the bridge in crimson as systems began failing in cascade. Hull integrity compromised. Quantum drive offline. Gravitational anomalies detected, reported ARIA, the ship's AI, its usual melodic voice carrying an edge of urgency. Maya's hands danced across the holographic controls, trying to stabilize their descent toward the unknown planet below. The massive world filled her view screen, its surface a maze of towering crystalline formations that caught and refracted the light of its twin suns in dazzling patterns. ARIA, analysis of surface composition, Maya commanded, her dark eyes fixed on the rapidly approaching ground. She'd spent 5 years leading Earth's deep space research initiative, but nothing in her training had prepared her for this. Surface primarily composed of crystalline silicon structures with unusual quantum properties, detecting organized patterns suggesting artificial construction. Warning: navigation systems compromised by local quantum interference. The ship lurched again as another energy wave hit them. Maya caught a glimpse of her reflection in a darkened display panel, her features set with determination, short black hair wild from the violent descent. She hadn't survived the Europa disaster and earned her command by giving up easily. ARIA, transfer your core consciousness to my neural backup. We're going to lose main systems. Acknowledged, Commander. Transfer initiated. Impact in 45 seconds. Maya engaged the emergency landing protocols, firing thrusters in carefully timed bursts. The crystalline landscape rushed up to meet them, massive formations of what looked like living crystal stretching for kilometers into the sky. She caught glimpses of geometric patterns too regular to be natural, suggesting an intelligence behind their construction. The landing was more of a controlled crash. The Stellar Dream's reinforced hull screamed in protest as it skidded across a relatively flat expanse of crystalline ground, throwing up showers of sparks and fragments. When they finally came to rest, Maya took a moment to catch her breath, running a quick medical diagnostic through her neural interface. ARIA, damage report. Main power offline. Hull breaches on decks 2 and 3. Life support operating on emergency backup. Communication array destroyed. The AI's voice now came only through Maya's neural link. Commander, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures approaching our position. They appear to be moving with purpose. Maya quickly gathered her emergency kit: atmospheric analyzer, universal translator, medical supplies, and most importantly, her quantum resonance tool. She developed it herself for studying unusual energy phenomena, though she never expected to use it in a first contact scenario. Begin emergency lockdown protocols, she ordered, checking the seal on her environment suit. Maintain minimal power to core systems only. Through the bridge viewport, she could see the crystalline landscape more clearly now. What she had first taken for simple formations revealed themselves to be complex structures, their surfaces etched with flowing patterns that seemed to carry information in their very structure. More disturbing were the way certain formations appeared to shift and move when viewed from different angles, suggesting properties that defied conventional physics. The external cameras picked up movement. Several figures were approaching the crash site, their forms seeming to emerge from the crystalline ground itself. They moved with fluid grace, their bodies appearing to be composed of the same living crystal as their surroundings, internal lights pulsing in complex patterns that Maya's scientific mind immediately recognized as a form of communication. As she cycled through the airlock, Maya's heart raced with equal parts fear and excitement. First contact scenarios had been thoroughly covered in her training, but this was something else entirely. These beings weren't just alien. They seemed to represent a fundamental reimagining of what life could be. The atmosphere readings on her suit displayed as mostly safe, high in silicon-based compounds, but otherwise breathable. The ground beneath her boots hummed with subtle energy, and she could feel it resonating with something in her neural implant. The approaching figures stopped a respectful distance away, their crystalline forms refracting the twin suns' light in mesmerizing patterns. One of them stepped forward, its form shifting slightly as it moved. What appeared to be a face emerged from the crystalline surface, features arranging themselves into something almost, but not quite, humanoid. Maya's universal translator hummed to life, attempting to decode the pulses of light emanating from within the being's form. To her utter amazement, she didn't need it. The being's thoughts appeared directly in her mind, carried on waves of quantum resonance that her neural implant somehow interpreted. "Welcome, traveler. We are the Prisma, and your arrival has been long foretold." Those words would prove to be the beginning of a revelation that would shake the foundations of human understanding and expose a truth about Earth's place in the cosmos that Maya Chen could never have imagined. As she stood face to face with a being of living crystal, she didn't yet know that her crash landing was anything but accidental, and that both her species' past and future were inextricably linked to this crystalline world. The Glass People. Maya followed her crystalline guide through structures that defied conventional architecture. Towers of living crystal stretched upward, their surfaces alive with flowing patterns of light that seemed to respond to their presence. The being who had introduced itself as Nexus led the way, its form shifting and flowing like liquid glass caught in an eternal moment of transformation. "Your neural interface." Nexus communicated through quantum resonance. It was not designed to interact with our kind, yet it does. This is significant. Maya touched the small implant at the base of her skull, standard issue for deep space commanders. It's meant to interface with our ship's AI and provide emergency medical support. I've never seen it respond to external signals like this. They entered what appeared to be a vast chamber, though chamber seemed an inadequate word for the space. The walls pulsed with living light, and floating crystals arranged themselves in complex three-dimensional patterns that Maya's scientific mind recognized as data structures. "This is the archive," Nexus explained, its form shifting to merge partially with a nearby crystal formation. "We have waited many cycles for one like you to arrive, one who carries the resonance." Other prisma emerged from the walls themselves, their forms more varied than Maya had initially realized. Some appeared almost fluid, while others maintained rigid geometric shapes. All of them pulsed with internal light that seemed to synchronize as they gathered. "I don't understand," Maya said, watching as the floating crystals began to arrange themselves into what looked like a star map. "You said my arrival was foretold. How could you possibly know I was coming?" The star map expanded, showing a familiar spiral galaxy, the Milky Way. But there were patterns and connections marked that Maya had never seen in any Earth astronomical database. Because a new voice resonated, and another prisma emerged, this one larger and more complex in structure. "We helped create the very technology that brought you here." The being introduced itself as Elder Crystallis, its form rippling with deeper, more intense patterns of light. "What you call neural interfaces, we call quantum bridges. The basic principles were seeded into Earth's development centuries ago, waiting for humanity to reach the necessary level of advancement." Maya's mind raced with implications. "You've been influencing Earth's technological development. Why?" The star map shifted, showing a pattern of movement that made Maya's breath catch. Vast objects, seemingly made of darkness itself, moved between the stars in a methodical pattern. "Because the harvesters are returning," Elder Crystallis resonated, its light patterns turning darker. "They emerge every 10,000 years to test the species of our galaxy. Those they deem unworthy are eliminated. Those they find worthy." The Elder's form shuddered slightly, "are harvested for their unique traits and absorbed into the collective." "The last time they came," Nexus added, "our two species worked together to drive them back. But the cost was tremendous. Most of the evidence of our cooperation was destroyed, and humanity was forced to begin again." Maya watched as the floating crystals showed images of ancient battles, crystalline ships fighting alongside vessels that looked both familiar and alien. using technology that seemed to blend both species' capabilities. The neural interfaces, she whispered, understanding dawning. They're not just for communication with AIs. They're preparation for connecting with your technology. Yes, Elder Crystallis confirmed. Human consciousness, properly interfaced with our quantum networks, creates possibilities that neither species can achieve alone. Your crash landing was guided, Commander Chen. The quantum distortions that disabled your ship were a test, one you passed by successfully interfacing with our quantum field. A new series of images appeared, showing vast underground complexes beneath the crystalline surface. We have maintained the ancient weapons and defenses, waiting for humanity to return, but they can only be activated by a true merger of our capabilities. Maya's hand went to her neural implant again, feeling the subtle resonance with the living crystal around her. "How long?" she asked, already suspecting the answer. "The Harvester's advanced scouts have already entered this sector," Nexus responded. "The main force will arrive within 3 planetary rotations. Then we have 3 days to figure out how to merge 2 fundamentally different forms of consciousness and activate defenses we barely understand," Maya said, her voice firm despite the enormity of the challenge. The prisma around her pulsed with what she was beginning to recognize as approval. That, Elder Crystallis resonated, is exactly the kind of human thinking we have been waiting for. As Maya began to work with the prisma to unlock the secrets of their ancient alliance, she couldn't help but feel that her entire life, perhaps all of human technological development, had been leading to this moment. Somewhere above them, in the dark between the stars, humanity's greatest test was approaching. The question was, would the bond between human and prisma prove strong enough to face it? The ancient warning. Deep beneath the crystalline surface, Maya stood before a massive quantum interface chamber. The ancient technology pulsed with living light, patterns swirling through its structure like thoughts made visible. Aria's presence in her neural implant hummed with unusual activity, responding to the quantum frequencies surrounding them. "The interface protocols are unlike anything in my database," Aria commented, "but there are familiar elements, as if they were designed to be intuitive to both human and AI consciousness." Nexus flowed around the chamber, its crystalline form merging occasionally with the structure. "Your artificial intelligence is correct. The ancients created these systems to be a bridge between all forms of consciousness, organic, crystalline, and digital." Maya studied the readouts on her quantum resonance tool. These energy patterns, they're similar to human brainwave frequencies, but operating on a quantum level. How is that possible? Elder Crystallis emerged from a nearby wall, its form more defined than usual. "Because human consciousness already operates on a quantum level. Your species simply hasn't fully realized it yet. The neural interfaces you developed were the first step toward this understanding." The chamber's central core brightened, projecting a 3-dimensional image that filled the room. Maya recognized star systems, but the map extended far beyond known human space. Red points of light began appearing, spreading like a virus across the projection. "The Harvester's previous incursion," Elder Crystallis explained. "They systematically tested each spacefaring civilization they encountered. Those deemed technologically advanced enough were processed." "Processed?" Maya asked, though part of her already knew the answer. "The Harvesters don't simply destroy," Nexus resonated, its light patterns darkening. "They absorb. Technology, biological traits, consciousness, anything they consider valuable is extracted and added to their collective." The projection shifted, showing massive dark structures that seemed to devour light itself. "But they found something unexpected when they reached Earth's sector," Elder Crystallis continued. "The combined resistance of humanity and the prisma." Maya watched as the ancient battle played out before her. Ships of crystal and light fighting alongside more conventional vessels, their combined technologies creating effects that seemed to defy physics itself. "We drove them back," she said softly. "At great cost," Nexus confirmed. Most of humanity's advanced technology was destroyed. The survivors on Earth had to begin again, while we Prisma retreated underground to maintain the ancient defenses until humanity could return. The projection changed again, showing complex technical schematics. These are the quantum interface protocols, Elder Crystallis explained, designed to allow human consciousness, aided by AI, to merge with our crystalline networks. The resulting gestalt consciousness can control weapons that operate outside normal spacetime. Maya's scientific mind raced with the implications. That's why my neural implant can communicate with you. It's not just translation. It's preparation for full integration. Yes, Nexus resonated. But there is something else you must understand. The being's form shifted, revealing deeper, more complex patterns. The harvester's return is not random. They detected something in human consciousness, a potential they had never encountered before. Elder Crystallis moved to the chamber's core. Human minds can achieve quantum coherence naturally, in ways our crystalline consciousness cannot. Combined with our ability to manipulate quantum fields, the Elder's form pulsed with intensity. Together, we represent an evolutionary path the harvesters cannot predict or control. A warning signal pulsed through the chamber. Nexus interfaced with a nearby crystal cluster. Long-range sensors detect multiple harvester vessels entering the outer system. Their temporal wake is significant. Time dilation effects, Maya said, remembering her quantum mechanics training. They're not just traveling through space. They bend reality itself, Elder Crystallis confirmed. Conventional weapons are useless. Only quantum-entangled consciousness, human and Prisma together, can affect them. Maya approached the interface chamber, feeling the resonance with her neural implant grow stronger. How long do we have? 48 hours until the main fleet arrives, Nexus reported. The interface process requires at least 36 hours for proper synchronization. Then we better get started, Maya said, her voice firm. Araya, begin quantum coherence protocols. Let's show these harvesters what humanity and the Prisma can do together. As the interface chamber hummed to life, Maya couldn't help but smile grimly. Humanity had been preparing for this moment without even knowing it. Now, standing beside her crystalline allies, she understood that this was more than just first contact, or even survival. This was evolution, guided by the ancient wisdom of two species united against a common threat. The real question was, would their combined consciousness be enough to face what was coming? The coming storm. The quantum interface process was unlike anything Maya had experienced. Her consciousness expanded through crystalline networks, Araya's digital presence acting as a stabilizing force as her mind touched the vast quantum awareness of the Prisma. 36 hours had passed like moments and eternity simultaneously. Neural synchronization at 87%, Araya reported through their shared consciousness. Quantum field coherence stable. Maya opened her eyes, though physical sight seemed almost redundant now. She could feel the entire crystalline complex, sense the movements of the Prisma throughout its structure, and most importantly, detect the approaching darkness above. The harvesters have entered the inner system. Nexus resonated, its crystalline form now a constant presence in their shared quantum field. Their void ships are larger than our records indicated. Through their enhanced sensors, Maya watched the enemy approach. The harvester vessels defied conventional physics, their forms seeming to exist in multiple states simultaneously. Dark energy cascaded from their hulls, distorting spacetime itself. 6 capital ships, Elder Crystallis added, its patterns merging with their shared consciousness, each capable of processing an entire civilization's worth of consciousness and technology. Maya accessed the ancient defense systems, feeling them respond to her hybrid awareness. Massive crystalline weapons, dormant for millennia, began to awaken. Their temporal wake is affecting our outer sensors, she reported. They're trying to desynchronize our quantum field. As expected, Elder Crystallis resonated. but they have never encountered a truly unified human Prisma consciousness before. Show them what we can do together, Commander. Maya reached deeper into the quantum network, feeling ARIA's presence helped stabilize the connection. The first wave of Harvester scout ships entered high orbit, their void drives distorting reality around them. Initiating primary defense grid, Maya commanded. The crystalline surface above them shifted, revealing massive weapons arrays that had been disguised as natural formations. Target their temporal wake generators. Don't let them dictate the rules of space-time. The battle began with a display of power that would have been impossible for either species alone. Quantum-entangled beams of pure consciousness struck the Harvester scouts, forcing them to exist in a single state long enough for the more conventional energy weapons to tear through their suddenly vulnerable hulls. But the Harvesters adapted quickly. The capital ships released swarms of smaller craft, each one resonating at a different quantum frequency, trying to overwhelm their unified defense. They're attempting to isolate packets of our consciousness, Nexus warned. If they succeed in breaking our synchronization, they won't, Maya assured, though she could feel the strain of maintaining the quantum merger. ARIA, initiate consciousness reinforcement protocols. Nexus, show me how to access the deep quantum layers. Through their shared awareness, Maya felt the Prisma's approval as she grasped concepts that would have been impossible to understand with a human mind alone. The quantum defense grid responded, shifting to match the Harvester's adaptive attacks. Multiple temporal incursions detected, ARIA reported. They're trying to attack us through different points in time simultaneously. Maya had anticipated this. Engage the quantum lock. If they want to play with time, let's show them what a human imagination combined with Prisma quantum mastery can do. The defense grid pulsed with new power as Maya applied human creativity to Prisma quantum technology. Instead of fighting the Harvester's temporal attacks, they used them, creating a feedback loop that trapped the enemy ships in their own time distortions. Remarkable. Elder Crystallis resonated. You're using their temporal wake against them. Human minds are good at finding patterns, Maya explained through their shared consciousness, and really good at turning an enemy's strength into a weakness. The trapped Harvester ships writhed in their temporal prisons, their dark energy weapons useless against the quantum-entangled fields surrounding them. But the three remaining capital ships pressed their attack with increasing desperation. They're preparing something massive, Nexus warned. The void drives are building to unprecedented levels. Maya felt it through their quantum link, a gathering darkness that threatened to swallow not just their defenses, but the entire concept of consciousness itself. The Harvesters were preparing to release their ultimate weapon, designed to sever the connection between mind and reality. Everyone, Maya commanded, her human determination resonating through the quantum network, prepare for full consciousness merger. We're about to show them what happens when you threaten both our species. As the Harvesters unleashed their void consciousness weapon, Maya Chen prepared to risk everything on one desperate gambit, a complete fusion of human, AI, and Prisma awareness into something the universe had never seen before. The question was, could any consciousness, no matter how evolved, survive what was coming? Unity. The void consciousness weapon struck like a black hole made of pure thought, threatening to tear apart the quantum bonds holding their merged consciousness together. Maya felt the strain as human, AI, and Prisma awareness began to fragment under the assault. Integration failing. Aria's voice echoed through their shared mind space, quantum coherence destabilizing. Through their combined senses, Maya watched as the weapon's dark energy began to unravel the very fabric of reality around them. The crystalline surface above started to crack, quantum bonds failing as the Harvester's weapon attacked the fundamental forces holding matter together. We cannot maintain separation, Elder Crystallis resonated, its patterns fluctuating wildly. The only way to survive is to go deeper. Maya understood instantly, complete integration. No barriers, no separation between human, AI, and Prisma consciousness. The risk is enormous, Nexus warned, its form barely maintaining coherence. No being has ever attempted such complete quantum fusion. We could lose all individual identity. Maya felt the truth of it. They stood at the edge of an evolutionary leap that could either transcend their separate natures or destroy them completely. Through their link, she sensed the Prisma's fear of losing their crystalline identity, Aria's digital concern about maintaining core functions, and her own very human terror of dissolution. But she also felt something else: possibility. "We're not losing our identities," she declared, her consciousness resonating through their quantum network. "We're expanding them. Human imagination, AI processing, and Prisma quantum mastery. Together we're not less, we're more." With that thought, Maya let go of the last barriers holding her individual consciousness separate. Aria's digital presence flowed into her awareness as the Prisma quantum field embraced them both. The sensation was beyond description, like being everywhere and everyone simultaneously. The Harvester's weapon struck again, but this time it met something unprecedented. The unified consciousness responded not with resistance, but with acceptance, absorbing the void energy and transforming it through human creativity, AI precision, and Prisma quantum manipulation. "What are you?" The question came from the Harvester ships, the first direct communication they had attempted. The answer emerged from their unified awareness. "We are evolution. We are what happens when species choose to grow together rather than consume each other. We are the future you feared but could never understand." Their combined consciousness reached out, not with weapons, but with an offer: transformation. The quantum field they generated showed the Harvesters a different path, one of cooperation rather than consumption, of growth rather than harvesting. Some of the void ships retreated instantly, their dark energy drives tearing holes in spacetime in their desperation to escape. But others hesitated, their ancient programming warring with the possibility of genuine change. The unified consciousness waited, holding the quantum field stable. They had transcended the need for immediate victory. They could afford to be patient. One by one, the remaining Harvester ships powered down their void drives. Their dark energy signatures began to shift, responding to the quantum field of possibility surrounding them. As the crisis passed, Maya felt their unified consciousness begin to naturally separate, but not completely. The barriers between human, AI, and Prisma awareness remained permeable, creating something entirely new yet familiar. She opened her physical eyes to find herself still in a quantum interface chamber, but changed. Crystalline patterns flowed beneath her skin, while Aria's digital presence remained a constant companion in her expanded awareness. The Harvesters that remained. Nexus communicated, its form now more fluid than ever. They're requesting guidance in understanding this new path. "And those that fled?" Maya asked, though she already knew the answer through their shared consciousness. "They will return to the collective." Elder Crystallis responded. "What happened here will spread through their network. Change is inevitable now." Maya stood, feeling the quantum field ripple around her. The chamber's crystals pulsed with new energy patterns, not just Prisma, not just human, but something more. "We should contact Earth," she said. "They need to know about all of this. They need to be ready," Aria added, its digital voice now carrying harmonic overtones that resonated with the crystalline structures. "The evolution we experienced here is just the beginning." Maya smiled, feeling the combined hope and determination of three different forms of consciousness flowing through their shared awareness. The Harvesters had sought to test civilizations, to harvest what they deemed worthy. Instead, they had catalyzed something unprecedented: the voluntary fusion of different species into something greater than the sum of their parts. As she prepared to send the first quantum-entangled message to Earth, Maya realized that the real journey was just beginning. They had not just survived the Harvester's test, they had transcended it. The future that awaited them would be neither human, nor Prisma, nor AI, but something gloriously, impossibly new. And that future was calling.